Ever seen an all-woman, gender-fluid paranormal investigation team? How about a paranormal investigation team that are all spiritually sensitive psychic mediums? We aim to make spiritual connection understandable and approachable using ethical techniques and little to no jump scares. You'll be encouraged throughout the video to make your own psychic reads and to check them along with us. Not a psychic? Pretend that you're there with us and let your imagination lead the way. You might be surprised at what lines up. Here's where we're going to be revisiting our initial psychic reads. At the beginning of each investigation, the three of us take individual notes without talking to each other. We then see what lines up with our reads, check with those experiencing the hauntings, learn what history we can, and then decide what hot spots to investigate. Hell's Kitchen had more than one hotspot, and we were able to make a lot of reads and collect even more evidence. Because of this, there will be multiple YouTube videos. If you don't want to wait to catch the full director's cut all at once, check out my Patreon. Link is below. And if you haven't seen what we already found in the first two videos, check those out first.
So there was one other like hotspot that I wrote down, and it's the front corner. I put 2 question marks since I wanted to go stay in the room where I decided what I felt over there. But I'm always, every time I come in here, drawn to that corner. That's where I always end up sitting usually. It's either like, not necessarily this booth, like the booth on the other side of here, or that corner back there.
It's your turn. Comment anything you get when you look at this space. Look beyond what you see. Feel the space and trust your gut.
I'm not sure about what energy I was picking up from over there. That's why there's 2 question marks. But the general energy in the place is like, we are here later than what used to go on would be happening, basically. So we're seeing the after hours of this.
I specifically mentioned table in the front too. It's
I
a popular spot for somebody.
Okay.
Look at us.
Yeah, I wrote table near the front in the corner. Table in the front corner. I picked up on a man, but it felt more like a passerby. Like, didn't know if he knows that he was there. I also saw a hat and jacket, but he looked more like a shadow.
It was so just,
Yeah.
like it seemed like a popular spot to sit.
Yeah.
Like it draws them to sit there, but
Yeah.
not that a specific person sits there. It's just that spot specifically.
Yeah, the passerby.
Yes.
Can I circle back to one thing that you specifically said that I like wrote down word for word, was that you said you feel seen, and I literally wrote that like word for word right there, talking about that corner. I also feel very seen, very watched from over there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool. Love that. So already it sounds like we're going to be checking out that area, we're going to be checking out that area. You mentioned this area over here. What did you get?
When I was in the bathroom, I felt like it's got that like same vibe as the guy that was standing here, not as agitated, very just left. Like, what are you doing here? I was like, yeah. What are you doing in the bathroom? I'm just here. Why?
Love that.
And then I ran into him again when I went back in the bathroom. I was like, you're still in here. I was like, I'm just waiting. I'm just here.
What?
Okay.
We're all just waiting, friend. I wasn't reading into the bathroom, I
I
guess.
forgot to think about
That's
it.
because I went there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like you said like guardian energy. I had something down for like, there was a male presence, very like I'm in charge. I got his hair, like he had dark hair, kind of, but he was kind of shadowy. It was weird. Like he had like a facade around him, and then he just looked very like he would be in charge.
Yes. Okay. I actually picked up on a guy with dark hair, managerial energy. What was funny was I picked up on the dark hair, might have been dyed. I picked up on him around the bar.
Second chance, you know what to do.
I was like over there. I did pick up on somebody at the bar too. Someone like by the bar and someone in the bar, like around the alcohol.
Okay, so around the bar I got a man who was in and out for vibes. That's what they like, here and now, here for the vibes. I saw a towel on his shoulder at some point. Like,
Yes.
Okay.
Looking. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It felt like, to me at least, he was well dressed, or that's how I was like perceiving him as presenting. Could be late 20s, maybe early 1930s.
Yes.
Slicked back hair. It was dark, sentient, generally interested in us. Considers himself a manager.
Yes. Yes.
Bam. What did you?
Well, no, I can't say the history yet, but
Oh,
there's
okay.
some good clicking.
Perfect.
I did get a female presence.
I did
Literally
too.
just okay.
And
Okay.
when
go
I
first.
tapped into that female presence, I immediately felt like something here in my throat, like it hit me, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it was very distant, like not enough to really pull on it. I got very minimal details, but it felt like very female presence. And then the other one was like, I don't know, like I can vibe on relationships with people, and I felt like there was like a husband-wife vibe that was happening in the space. So
So, with the female presence, I felt her walking around, like pacing around. She's not in charge, but she's keeping track. She is like the secret manager, basically. She is not officially the manager of the books, but she knows everything that's going on in this space, and she is pacing around with a purpose, not with anxiety. There are other things in here that I feel walking around because of anxiety or fear, but she is on a mission, and she is seeing what's in here.
Because I got very like passerby kind of woman, like it was sort of seen in my peripheral. What I may have seen struck me as Edwardian clothing, like
yes,
woman
that's
in
what I
white,
wrote. Yes,
high neck,
yes.
line,
1900s.
and, like,
yes, that's
like
what I
with
wrote
the
down
lace
too.
and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So here it would have seemed she's out of place, and I think that's why my brain was also like, I'm sorry, man.
I was
Yeah.
like,
What?
no, and I had the same thought because I was like, oh, that's very like Edwardian. Why is it always Edwardian? Am I thinking too hard about this right now?
Though you get that downtown, where like there are folks,
Oh, yeah.
you know, there may have been a house here. That's
Because the thing is, like, Wilmington burned down. This is not in history that I'm feeling, but Wilmington burned down several times because of the things that we exported. People smoking cigars on the docks.
turpentine.
Yeah.
Duke fire.
Yes, I did. I actually wrote down, is there a fire here? And when I did like trying to like feel on the smell of things, of course it was liquor, blood, water, wood, and smoke. That's what the smell, composition of the place
This
was.
prime real estate downtown likely caught like
Pretty
at
much
least
all
this
of it burned
location.
down in the 1800s, yeah. Like, because everything was really from Princess to Dock, and then Market to, or Water Street, Front Street, 2nd Street, and then 3rd Street was like the boundary of downtown for a long time.
Yeah.
And so everything within that burnt down. There's one brick building that survived all of the fires that's sort of towards Castle Street. I think it's on Orange. But yeah, these things would have been around that time. That's not in the reveal though, so don't worry. No spoilers.
Great reads.
Things lining up.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
anything
one last
else?
thing before you were talking about their understanding of things, and I actually wrote generally they know and understand where they are and they're in the space. And I got the feeling they might be difficult to get to do certain things, but overall they really want to be heard. So I wrote that down.
Perfect. I love that vibe. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of good curiosity and like a little bit of like, what is this kind of vibes.
Some mess.
But not a bad what is this vibes. So that's cool.
The one thing I'm not picking up on, which is strange to me because I always pick up on it, is children. I don't feel any children.
Oh yeah,
I don't
no,
feel kids.
no
Not
kids.
like everywhere I go, I feel like there's always at least one that makes itself known.
No children.
No kids here. I always feel a huge energy shift when I walk through the front door of here, and I don't know if it's like the energy that's built up during the day, maybe, or if it is me walking in on something and just noticing it.
It's funny because when I walked outside, I was just like, and then I walked back in and I'm like,
Yeah.
like it just kind of
Absolutely.
sucked me into the space. Yep, I feel you.
Yeah, you get it.
I get it.
Great. Well, on that note, how about we learn some history?
Yeah.
Okay.
So many of my employees heard stuff and saw lights swaying after hours that they never swung before. Amazing to me that, and there's so much ghost or haunting history in this town. You know, and I thought maybe this is one of them. That's up to you guys to figure out. But I really love you guys being here, and it's way past my bedtime.
I am so ready to hear our
Yes.
validating reads for this history.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the history of this. Now, here are some of the notable incidents that took place on this property throughout its history. In 1918, a 6-year-old girl was accidentally shot in the forehead by a stray bullet in front of the property when it was a drugstore. In the 1920s, a man got into an altercation across the street at what was then the Dixie Grill. Now you probably know where it is on Market Street. The original building burned down, so obviously they had to move. And the man was stabbed and he staggered into the cafe, which is now Hell's Kitchen. He was taken to the back room and died of blood loss. And finally, we were able to find about 6 obituaries of people that passed away in their rooms in the apartments upstairs. And it was a total of 4 men and 2 women. All of that happened before it became the final version of Molly's Market, and then a film set, and then Hell's Kitchen as we know it now.
That whole corner.
Yes.
And that was one of the things we picked up.
Everyone says everything about that.
So I'm checking cameras, and every time I check the camera, it's booth 3, and it sways. And there's no other lights that sway in here, like when the air conditioner's on or anything like that. There's no vent over there, and it's not like this. It sways, so it's a pretty good sway.
I've closed in here by myself a million times. I've been sitting in the office back there, and this door will move, and yes, the AC thing is in there, so it'll shake. But I tell them there's a difference when it shakes versus when it slams, and somebody's like making a point that there's something, or where those cups are over there. I've just been in the office and one whole tower just falling over for no reason. That's scary. Is it me or is it something else that's happening?
Yeah.
So this is very bad feeling.
In
the bathroom, I always get creepy feelings in the bathroom. What is that closet and the kitchen and
Will's closet.
yeah, the Will's closet, yeah.
And apparently the table that we chose to sit at.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Isn't that crazy?
You just get a creepy feeling.
I feel like every time I walk by, well, not every time, but like there's been multiple times
Well,
I walk by.
and it's like I
can
feel like
see-
so you're back though, like this
So
corner. The whole area.
I can tell you lots of situations what people said.
Well,
but
also the
they
electricity
say
and all this stuff does not work right here.
table
I
5.
can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah.
Everything pops.
Every server,
All
every
the-
manager always says table 5, and that's table 5
Yeah.
is haunted.
Well, the electricity never works right there. All those lights, they pop all the time. All the breakers, they break all the freaking time. Oh my god. We've electrocuted, I don't know how many electricians by accident. They say it's like supposedly like wired backwards, but it's really not. It's an old building slash.
And the other plugs work. So,
Everything else
yes.
is fine.
Yeah.
All the
It
other
should
lights
be
are
all on
working.
the same line.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. And we were drawn to that. That's great. So, we didn't even think about it. We're just like, let's go sit there.
I came in here, I was like, of course it'd be a big vibe.
Yeah.
I know, that's what Danielle said. She said, of course.
That's one of the things, like, with how we work and like the intuition, it wasn't, at least for me, it wasn't even like, yes, go to that table. We were all just like, that table there. Seems like a table ghosts would sit at. Let's do that. So cool. Any other things before we kind of head into the more investigating part of this?
Well, you just know that we're in the Civil War town. We're in a revolutionary town, so there's a lot of bad things.
And this is
that
an
happen
old
right
building,
here, too.
and so there's no telling.
Yeah.
Before
there's
us.
there's a whole fire
Yeah.
here, massacre. You all know that.
Yeah.
So as long as you know that history, that's a big part of, I feel like, what happening.
Oh yeah, for sure. I oftentimes tell people this is the most underrated haunted town in the United States. Like, it's because it is. Like, you can walk anywhere and they're everywhere.
Are you ready for the final and most thrilling part of our paranormal investigation at Hell's Kitchen? It's going to be coming out tomorrow on Halloween. Remember, if you don't want to wait, check out my Patreon. Everyone else, hit that bell so you don't forget to come back for more paranormal content without all the scares.